What's happening, guys? This is Eric Broadus back again with another video. And for this video, the question that I would like to ask is how many American citizens actually travel abroad? And as you can see up here in my props, I have my real passport, my real headrest, and my real headphones. Yes, all three of those items I do use. But the question is, that I propose to you, is how many Americans actually travel abroad? And how many of them do you think have their passport? Now, let me answer that question for you. According to the statistics, or the census, 42% of United States Americans have their passport. In 2018, 21.4 million passports were issued. So, and our population is 327.2 million. So, what that tells me is that when you have a population that is that large and that many individuals can afford a passport, that tells me that that nation is really wealthy, because anybody that's ever had to buy a passport knows that it costs a lot of money, and also even going through the process, even the photos are not cheap that you need to obtain your passport. But out of 327.2 million Americans in this country, 42% are passport holders. Now, what prompted me to do this video, it was asked to me by one of my subscribers and a co-worker, and we had went around asking questions, you know, just to find out how many people actually travel abroad. And I had, in my mind, I'd assumed that pretty much everybody travels abroad on a regular due to my extensive travel experience. Now, understand, yes, I am a prior military guy, so I was very fortunate and blessed to have the opportunity to travel to many different countries, and most of which was at the government's expense. So I was fortunate. Now I understand that many people may or may not have the same opportunity, but I guess for those of us in the military and we're used to moving around, having a permanent change of station or assignment, we're used to relocating, and also that includes having tour duties, you know. So for us, that's part of the military lifestyle. Now, for me myself personally, I have been to, I think it's 21 or 22 different countries, and let me add, how many have I actually lived in? Because out of a 20-year career, I spent about 14 years and change abroad in total time outside the United States. So let's see, I had bear with me, guys, I'm trying to tally this up. Let's see, I was my first duty station abroad, let me see, was England. I was stationed in England. Let me see, the second would be Turkey. Then I had obviously tour duties in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Iraq. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything else? Jordan. And what else? Then I've had 2 tours in South Korea, 2 tours in Japan. Am I missing anything else? Let me see, I did include Iraq on that. And special duty assignment in Bahrain, and obviously the other special duty was in Turkey. Now, the other countries, I was fortunate. I played sports on the base team. So for certain basketball tournaments, I was able to, playing basketball, went to tournaments in Rota, Spain, you know, playing in Turkey. So it afforded me some unique travel opportunities. And once you are in theater, or when I say theater, that means that a good example of a theater is a particular region, you know, that the military groups it. For instance, you have Europe forces. So that means that if you're assigned anywhere in Europe, any military bases or installations that are in those particular locations in Europe, that's called a theater. You know, so once you are in place in, say, Asia, or whether it's Europe or say the Middle East, normally the countries are connected, so you can travel throughout that particular region once you're in one country. So that obviously gives military members and individuals that have jobs to the ability and access to different countries within a specific region. So in many cases, that was, say in my case, most of my traveling abroad was done while I was in the military. Now, I've done some traveling, obviously, outside of it. I mean, I finally went to, obviously, Ghana, Africa, a couple of months ago, and had a stop through in Burma, which is part of West Africa. So, I've had my chance to definitely travel, and still plan on traveling, exploring. My next excursion, I'm looking forward to going to the Tokyo Olympics 2020. So, but the question I propose to you is, how many Americans actually take advantage of the opportunity to travel abroad? And I'm always excited about travel. Travel is just my thing, man. I love it. Going abroad and experiencing new cultures and giving me the opportunity to learn something different. And I also get to grow and to interact with different individuals, whether they are from different countries, or even if it is the people that are actually in the host nation. So travel, it does a lot. A doctor once told me, said, traveling abroad is a world-class education. So you can't learn everything from a book. And I definitely encourage those of you that have not traveled yet, if you got your passport, please, please use it. And for those of you that don't have your passport, please go and get your passport so that you don't miss out. I mean, let's think about what are some of the neighboring countries that we have that are close to the United States borders. If you're on the West Coast, it would obviously be, you have Mexico. If you're in the state of, say, well, let me see, I think Washington, probably Canada, definitely would be close. If you're on the West Coast, near Washington State, you can go to Vancouver, British Columbia, which I actually did that, So you can drive that, so if you choose, or take a plane. If you're on the East Coast, you can actually go to Niagara Falls, and then you also have Toronto, which is on the East Coast of Canada. So, that's a bordering country. If you're in North Dakota, you can also go to Canada. I don't know if that portion might cover maybe Ontario or something like that, but there are some neighboring, I guess, borders, if you don't really want to fly to the other side of the world, that you can go to. Let's see, if you're in Florida, I'm not sure if they've reopened the borders to Cuba yet, so I'm not sure of that. That's something I'd have to double check, and you can double check that. But you have the Bahamas. So you do have, the one thing about the United States, it definitely, by it being so large, and it covers, all 4 time zones, and you have these different regions. So you have bordering countries that are there, that are close enough that it's a hop, skip, and a jump. Cuba is only 90 nautical miles by water from Florida. Like I said, you have the Bahamas. You have the U.S. territories such as Puerto Rico. You have Guam, another United States territory. You have the U.S. Virgin Islands. So these are close enough for those of you that may not want to travel, say, thousands of miles to the other side of the world. And now, for those of you that really like to travel, there's a whole big world out there to see. Get on that plane, man. And ladies and gentlemen, get on that plane. and go see something different, you know? I mean, come on, 42% of Americans have their passports. Well, you know, let's start using them. Let's get out there and see something different. Home is always going to be here. You know, if you're not relocating or moving as an expat, well, then your home will always be here. Whatever's in your hometown is always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. You know, for those of you that haven't gotten your passport yet, go get it. Go get it. You know, get out there and travel and see something different. But I was utterly amazed, though, at how many people actually have the money to do it, but they just remain in the 50 states, and some don't even leave their state. I was utterly shocked to find it out. But 42% have, that's 100 and something million Americans with passports. You know, let's step our travel game up. You know, let's get on out there and see something different. But that's all I got, you know, saying for this video, you know. But get your passport. And again, the question I propose to you, and if you choose to look it up and you got some responses, hit my comment section up. How many Americans actually travel abroad? All right, 40% have their passports, but how many travel abroad? Thanks guys for listening. Thanks guys for watching. Name of my channel is Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. And I also run an audio podcast called Snacks Thoughts. SNAKZTHOUGHTS. Snacks Thoughts. So go over there and check me out. You know, I have some different subjects and content, you know, that I talk about on my audio podcast. So subscribe to me over there also, and please share my podcast channel too. You know, you can find me on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. You know, I am definitely out there, so come on over and check me out. But again, Eric Broadus YouTube. Come on, guys. Come on, hit me up and hit the comment section. Leave some comments, and I would definitely love to dialogue with you and get back with you. How many Americans actually travel abroad? 42% have their passports, but how many actually use them and travel abroad? All right, guys. Those of you that subscribe, hey, tap the bell for future subscriptions. And peace. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for your time. And I am out. Catch you on the next one. Peace.